Hi everybody, it's the Ruthless Jobber here. Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 38, I think, of A Broken Heart. It's WCW1998. This is Monday Night Nitro. I think we should just get straight into it, shall we? We start off with a couple of pre-show matches. Don't normally do these. I'm starting to try to do them a little bit more regularly. Just you never know if you get some decent chemistry or you just get something that might happen. But this one is between Roddy Piper and Norman Smiley as they take on Royalty, and it's Royalty that get the victory. We had good heat and decent wrestling. And yeah, Royalty get the victory in 14 minutes, 3 seconds. Steven Regal pinned Norman Smiley with a T-strainer. Overall, we got a 65, and the wrestling got 59 with the crowd 55. Yeah, quite happy with that. Chris Benoit takes on Sid Vicious. Pre-show bout, great heat and good wrestling, and it's Sid Vicious getting the win in 13 minutes 24 by pinfall with a powerbomb. 65 for the wrestling, 63 for the crowd, and 69 overall. Not too bad for pre-show matches, really. The show kicks off, the actual proper show kicks off with Bret Hart cutting a promo. He wants to talk about Hogan, and he talks a little bit about the history of Hogan and Bret and their careers and the fact that Hogan always held him back. Sounds a bit heelish, but I mean, he's not wrong. Well, in his mind, I guess he's not wrong. Hogan was always the big star, and lots of other people never really got much of an opportunity in the 80s and the early 90s because of Hogan's star power, and lots of other people were sort of left behind and weren't given the same opportunities as him. Hogan then comes out and kind of tries to defend himself, and he says, it's about time you got a real challenge. I can't put my belt on the line tonight due to contractual reasons, kayfabe, whatever that may be. But you definitely need a decent challenge tonight. And Bam Bam Bigelow comes out and he wants to accept that challenge. Hogan basically says, anyone in the back room who wants to come out and challenge Bret tonight, come out, here's your time. And Bam Bam Bigelow comes out. I rated him on intimidation rather than actually have him say anything, because I just think, in the old world, we would have rated him on menace. So I thought I'd put him down as intimidation. And here we get some pretty decent scores, actually. So 77 for part 1, 78, and then 77 again for part 2 and parts 3. 83 rating overall. I am pleased with that. But we have our main event booked. What else did we get here? Just have a quick look. Okay, got the show off to a strong start. I'd agree with that. The Dudley Boys take on Right and Dandy. We definitely don't use Right and Dandy often enough. I don't really intend to. They are pretty much our jobber tag team. They get the loss here. It's the Dudleys that win. Of course they do. Didn't have much heat and terrible wrestling. The Dudleys are still quite low down the card as well, so I'm not expecting miracles yet. The Dudley Boys defeated Right and Dandy in 6 minutes 37 when Devon Dudley pinned El Dandy with a Dudley death drop. During the match, we also saw Conan distract Devon, and also the Demon came out to distract Devon. Wrestling of 41, 34 for the crowd, 45 overall. Yeah, not pleased with the score, but then, again, based on where these guys are in the card, I'm not over sort of disappointed. I'm not going to beat myself up over a score like that. So we had, unprofessionalism from El Dandy. Okay, we might need to rethink our jobber team then. He can go. Bit of red there, which is always a shame to see, but some green as well. Post-match, Conan and the Demon cut a promo on the Dudleys, and they say, do you really call this paying your dues? Beating a team that's barely been seen for the last 6 months. They've made a handful of television appearances in the last, few years, let alone, you call this paying your dues? I thought people are raving about you, and, you need to start taking on some people with some, credibility around here. So this is basically just sort of continuing the storyline that we've got here between these guys. We just wanted to stick the Dudleys in a mid-card storyline. We know we're not going to get the best scores from it, but let's just try and get the Dudleys over as quickly as I can, stick them into some sort of storyline. I'm sure their next storyline is going to be against, people of a lot higher standing. But, as their initial storyline in WCW, let's stick with something a little bit mid-cardish. 43 overall. Conan looked good. Booker T cuts a self-promo in the ring before he is attacked by Raven. Not a lot to say about this one. I'm trying to develop this storyline a little bit. Overall rating of 56. It did gain heat, which is always great. 56 and gaining heat, though, it's obviously probably on the floor at the moment, which, to be honest, most of our storylines are. We've had to change up Raven's gimmick. It was getting a bit stale. we couldn't tweak it, so we just changed it to that, and let's see what we get. Oh, great. Okay, well, that's always good. That's always, especially when he's in the middle of a storyline. Dean Malenko takes on La Parka. Just wanted to get a match in there for La Parka, really. Gets the win. We had decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Gets the win in 14 minutes 10 by pinfall with a skull bomb. So we get 49 for the wrestling, 50 for the crowd, 56 overall. They didn't click, which was unfortunate, but okay, we know that for the future then, don't we? Gorilla Monsoon, backstage, sort of in the studio, announces a couple of matches for Road Wild. We're going to have Chris Jericho take on Six, and Lex Luger will take on Dean Malenko. Rating of 64. This was just to announce a couple of matches, really. I've had to make a few changes based on an injury to Juventud Guerra. He's out for, I think it's a year. So the Los Locos were due to challenge for the titles, the tag team titles. We're obviously going to have to change that up. I also needed a tag team partner for, I can't remember who it was now. I think it was Rob Van Dam, because he'll be having a tag team match at Road Wild. So yeah, I had to change a few things up. This is just an announcement for a couple of matches. Lex Luger comes out and cuts a promo. He's cutting it on Rob Van Dam. He's saying, I like what I see from you. You've actually got some really, you've got some good talent. I'm really liking it. But you haven't really taken on anyone yet of my quality, of my standing. The reason we've got Kurt Angle in here as well is because Angle and Kurt Angle? No, it's not. It's Kurt Hennig. The reason we've got Kurt Hennig here as well is because he is now in a tag team with Lex Luger. Totally perfect. So they're just together. There's not anything to it with this particular angle. So Lex Luger challenges Rob Van Dam, and of course Rob Van Dam accepts. Get a rating of 67 here, and it's the match next. Great heat and good wrestling. Lex Luger defeated Rob Van Dam in 11 minutes 35 by pinfall with a running forearm smash following interference from Kurt Hennig. The match was designed to tell a specific story. This was our storytelling match. So yeah, Lex Luger gets the win. He had to cheat though. He had to get interference from his tag team partner. We get a wrestling rating of 65, crowd rating of 69, and overall 69. I'm not too disappointed. Rob Van Dam was still building. Lex Luger, maybe we could have got a bit more out of him. What did he get? He got 64. Rob Van Dam actually got a little bit more than him. But the storyline, the perfect, what's that? I called it the perfect resolution. Gained heat. So, well, that's always good, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, basically, we've got totally perfect in a storyline with Rob Van Dam. So, post-show, Totally Perfect decide to beat down on Van Dam, but Rick Steiner comes out to make the save. So, you can probably guess Rick Steiner is going to be Rob Van Dam's tag team partner for the match at Road Wild. I'm actually even thinking about, if all goes well, having them as a regular tag team, just for the time being, just while we get Rob Van Dam over a little bit more, and we can kind of release him into the world as a top singles competitor. But we'll have to see how that goes, really. 64 overall, and the storyline advanced. Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton take on Psychotic, part of the Latino World Order. So it's a decent match. Psychotic defeated Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton in 10 minutes 13. When Psychosis 2 pinned Arn Anderson after using a foreign object. So wrestling of 55, crowd 42, segment 57. Again, not too disappointed based on where these guys are on the card. I know I need to be getting higher scores, but we are trying to tell a few stories as well here. We did have, and it hasn't put it there, Eddie Guerrero should be at ringside just to sort of shore up that Latino World Order presence. Could have had La Parka there as well, but he had a match earlier in the night. Post-match, you guessed it, the Latino World Order beat down on Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton, but then Sting comes out to make the save. Sting's obviously got issues with the LWO at the moment, so it's Sting that comes out. 43 is really disappointing, especially with Sting being in there. I mean, again, all of these guys, apart from Eddie, I guess Eddie's a star, I think. I know most of these guys are unimportant or recognisable, but I'd like to have seen something in the 50s there at least. But okay, it is what it is. I'll tell you what though, at least the storyline gained heat. Gene Okerlund interviews Chris Jericho, just getting his reaction regarding his match at Road Wild, where he'll be taking on Six. So yeah, I'll take anyone on. I'll beat anyone. He just cuts a heel promo and also cuts a bit of a promo on his current nemesis, Diamond Dallas Page, as well. We get a 79 here. Pleased with that one, and this storyline's gained heat as well. We might be getting there with storylines. I'm really fingers crossed for this one. Goldberg takes on the Barbarian. Just wanted to give Goldberg a match. I kind of forget about him really most because if he's not squashing someone, it's usually just a promo video. I mean, we're still in the stages of, he's on a streak. We don't want to hot shot it. We don't want him beating the likes of Hogan just yet. That's kind of like the real big blow off, isn't it? That's the payoff. Whether it's for the belt or not, I don't know. But we can't have him sort of just yet because the real top guys are still tied up in other storylines. But we've got a few things coming in the next couple of months that hopefully is going to change that a little bit, and we'll see a bit more from Goldberg and a little bit more of an interesting viewpoint or more interesting thing for him to do, really. But this particular match did have fantastic heat and good wrestling, and Goldberg got the win 6 minutes 31 by pinfall with the spear. So the Barbarian and Jimmy Hart are an awkward pairing. I think we've seen that before, but we weren't getting that with 2020. Yeah, I need to fix that if and when I remember. Wrestling 67, crowd 70, overall 68. I'm not too disappointed in that, actually. Sting then cuts a promo on Eddie Guerrero, just kind of backstage. Sting decides to, following what happened earlier in the night, where he made the save on Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton, just cuts a promo on Eddie Guerrero. I've put the LWO in brackets because he kind of cuts a promo on all of them, but I didn't want to sort of put them all in the angle because it's mainly on Guerrero. He's going for the leader. He's really just sort of, going for the leader of this group here. 96 as well, which is clearly going to help our rating at the end, and also this storyline gaining heat. Yeah, we've got to remember to use these two guys more than the other ones. Our main event, that gets an 85. This is fantastic. I'm pleased with this show, really pleased. So, in an exceptional match, Bret Hart defeated Bam Bam Bigelow in 15 minutes 37 by countout. During the match, we had Eric Bischoff distract Bret Hart. Obviously, didn't distract him enough, though. This is more like it. Wrestling of 86, 81 crowd, and 85 overall. This is why I put this match in, really. Two major stars. I don't want to do that too often on Raw because I think Major Star v Major Star should probably be saved for the pay-per-views. But I think you've got to do it every now and then, and it just shows with the rating we're getting. I mean, that's fantastic. I think it's possibly Bam Bam's first loss certainly for a long time because we've been building him almost as much as we've been building Goldberg. Yeah, but we had to give Bret the victory here. Bret Hart and Elizabeth are a good pairing. Yeah, we kind of knew that. I mean, Bam Bam Bigelow getting a 78. Bret Hart with a 95. I mean, OMG. Really pleased with that. What do we get overall? 83. I mean, to get an 83 and not have any popularity changes. I mean, we're not getting any popularity changes because we went down a level and we're in shocked phase. What a shame, because that would definitely have increased pop. That would definitely have done it. But oh well. I mean, I can't be disappointed. We're going in the right direction if we can keep things like this up. It probably does mean using main eventers a lot more against each other on Nitro. We've got one more page, haven't we? I was about to end the episode, but I won't just yet. We'll go through this page and also maybe just have a little look backstage. Made profit on this one, just over 300,000. Popularity, we're not going to get any, and there's no media scrum. Backstage, we're obviously going to have a couple of emails. Eddie Guerrero says that Bubba Roddy needs to learn how to sell. Okay, thanks, Eddie. Viewing figures for Nitro. And yeah, this email from the Who Vented Guerrero, I just wanted to show you. He's out for about a year, which obviously that messes up my plans for Los Locos. I know they were losing that match, but it just means I need to make changes to that tag team title match now at Road Wild. What else shall we look at? Probably our roster, actually. I know I normally do this anyway, but let's just have a quick look to see if there's any noticeable changes. I mean, we've got so many major stars. No, it doesn't look like anyone has gone up, though. Chris Jericho? No, I'm sure he was already a major star. Yeah, stars, all pretty much the same. Raven, I was hoping Raven might move into well-known. I don't have many plans for him. He's got this little storyline against Booker T, but that's not really going to it's not going to move the needle, is it really? We've still got sort of Kevin Nash and Scott Hall on vacation. Gave them time off after their kind of suspension, along with the rest of the NWO, minus Hogan, and now obviously Bischoff. They're not the NWO anymore. Oh, and Sid of course as well. No, they're not. They're not the NWO anymore. But obviously they're still around. We will have plans for Hall and Nash when they come back. I don't know what yet. I might have a bit of an idea. I don't know, but we'll have a think. I think I will end the episode there. I think I've sort of shown everything that I usually do post Nitro. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I've got another series starting. It might have already started depending on when this is uploaded. I'm doing the invasion angle again from 2001, but I'm doing it very differently from how I've done it before. Yeah, so check that one out when that one's released. So take care of yourselves, everybody, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.